Hello?
Oh shit, I gotta go make class.
I'll put my jacket on. It's hot or something.
I have to wear these.
Oh, I forgot.
What?
Oh, that's mine, sorry.
This next group, just take one of their sheets. Okay. Thank you. All right, so we're about to get started today with our final 3 presentations. So actually, let me double check. But yes, Vincent's on the line here. And it will be the same format as last time. So if any questions before we get started? I think we're all set. After the presentations, we'll stick around, a couple things to go over. But yay, last day. And I'll hand it over to you guys. Get excited to present. And yay, okay, let's go.
Awesome. Thanks for everyone for coming out today. How are we doing today? Awesome, great to hear it. Today we'll be presenting on Aspire Food Group and their brand Aketa. We'll start by offering a short background of the company and then providing some market strategy recommendations which we deem fit. My name is Dylan Ferry.
I'm Monica Nemeth. I'm Courtney Lambert.
I'm Ryan Brawner.
And I'm Benny Epbright.
So this is Aketa's mission statement, and it highlights how they create a product, or they pride themselves on creating a product which is high in protein and sustainable. This offers the best of both worlds for the consumers, as it gives the consumers the health benefits of the product and that they need, and the environmental impact that they prefer. Next, Courtney is going to talk about some of the problems that we found that Aketa to be facing currently.
So my team and I came up with these 3 problems that are currently facing Aketa and the cricket market. We have to educate the consumers on the health benefits of crickets. Consumers aren't fully aware that they offer lots of protein and needs and offer certain diets. 80% of the world is already consuming crickets and other insects, so we need to educate them on that. Secondly, we're going to give consumers ideas on foods to pair with crickets and meal solutions for them that fit their diet. And thirdly, we're going to give consumers what they're looking for, and we're going to target certain areas and different markets because they may not be hitting the correct areas. For these problems, we offer simple solutions. We're going to educate the consumers on the health benefits of crickets, and we're going to provide consumers ideas on foods to pair with crickets. Next, Benny's going to talk about our target market.
Okay, so our target market is going to focus on a subset of millennials, specifically health-conscious and dietary restrictive millennials. These are the types of consumers that are going out and following the health and fitness trends or dietary preferences that they prefer. So this millennial market tends to consume the following products that are listed here. So most of these products are high in protein and are easy to take on the go. So we feel that Aketa would be able to increase brand loyalty and increase brand awareness if they were to implement some sort of trade-off with this. Now on to market strategy recommendation. First, partnering with popular health and fitness apps would help to create another channel to get Aketa's brand out to consumers. These apps provide and promote different types of healthy lifestyles and healthy recipes. Furthermore, we feel that it is important to find a social media influencer that could promote the Aketa brand and educate their followers on what Aketa is. We also feel that it is important to continue to emphasize on the need for protein in one's everyday diet And lastly, we came up with the idea to reach out to smoothie providers to offer a Keta protein as an alternative to soy or whey protein. Now on to Monica for the SWOT analysis.
Taking a look at our SWOT analysis helped us decide what our recommendations are going to be. We decided to focus on 4 main strengths. They're high in protein, high in calcium, and GMO-free, allowing them to fit in a lot of consumers' diets. They're also farmed sustainably, which is a rising concern among most people, including those who pride themselves on taking care of the earth. Looking at these 4 strengths set Aketa up as a power product in the industry. Next, we're going to look at our weaknesses. When we think of Aketa or we think of crickets, we don't automatically start salivating because of this ick factor. This is also because there's a lack of knowledge on crickets as a food in the US. This is also because this is not a part of our culture currently. However, it is a part of bigger cultures outside of the US. Aketa is also a small company and a newer company which proposes its own set of obstacles that they have to overcome. Looking at our opportunities, Aketa has the ability to become a leading trend and gain market share. They can do so by tapping into this large market, and they're introducing a new healthy snack for people and have the ability to expand their product line by creating chips or introducing new bugs or insects. Next is our threats. Aketa has a few competitors they need to watch out for, including Chirps, Exo, and Grub. There also might be a lack of consumer interest due to the lack of knowledge of how to eat these insects. But we think that by giving consumers knowledge on how to eat them and how people are eating them across the world already, that we can open people's minds to the world of insects. There's also a threat that their competitors can gain market share, and if they take off, then it might be harder for Aketa to follow. Lastly is the price of their competitors. They offer lower prices than Aketa currently, which might deter them from choosing Aketa. Now Ryan will talk about a survey we made to gain consumer insight.
So we surveyed a total of 58 respondents, all of whom were between the ages of 19 to 30. The first question we asked them is if they would be willing to try an entire cricket. And through these results, we saw that 50% of the respondents actually said no. We then asked them if they would be willing to try cricket granola, as there was a 7% increase as compared to the original question. We took this as consumers would be willing to try a cricket product if the actual appearance of it was hidden, which we found interesting. We then asked them if crickets were incorporated into their smoothie drink, would they be willing to drink it? And through this, we saw a 3.44% increase as compared to our original question. Even though these numbers do not sound drastic, we attribute this to the small scale of respondents. Now Dylan will further our idea.
So after reviewing the survey results and some of the recipes that Aketa provides on their website, we came to the conclusion of the implementation of the cricket protein into popular gym smoothie bars. Places like Gold's Gym, LA Fitness, and other gyms that are taking off and have these bars would be a great place to reach the millennials in which we are trying to target. Offering it as an alternative to whey and soy protein would also give it as another outlet for consumers to sample it and possibly implement it into their lifestyle. Another way that we found to increase knowledge within our consumers would be to partner with popular health and fitness apps. Apps like MapMyFitness and WellCoin offer its users healthy recipes and in addition to daily exercises. If we could partner with them in short BuzzFeed videos or Tasty, it would be another way to hit this target market. Lastly, finding social media influencers who possibly run health Instagrams or popular workout pages would be a great way to push the ideas of Aketa and the health benefits onto their loyal following.
So some of the competitors that face Aketa are Exo, Chirps, Grub, and Curry, and these brands also offer other insects, which could be a way for Aketa to expand in the future and sort of differentiate themselves. So it's a way for expanding for the future.
So we interviewed 2 of our peers, one of which followed a strict diet and the other one did not. Erica noted that she would be willing to try a cricket if there was clear nutritional value and the actual appearance of the cricket was masked. This again proved our point that in order for a regular consumer like Erica to enjoy this product, she can't actually see the cricket. Greta, who follows a strict paleo diet and also takes part in CrossFit, noted that if there were proven health benefits in the cricket protein, and if they didn't look like crickets, similar to Erica, she would be willing to try it. What was also interesting is she noticed that, she said that if everyone else was doing it, if everyone else was consuming crickets, she'd be willing to as well. And we found this interesting because it showed how trends occur and that if one person or a small group is eating a cricket, then it has the potential to flourish. Now Benny will talk about our inside source.
Okay, so our insider source comes right here from St. Joseph's University. Teresa Crossan is a dietitian and a professor of food chemistry here. She solidified our ideas that there should be a continued push for protein that is provided in all of Akeda's products. Furthermore, for those with dietary restrictions, we feel that Akeda should be present itself as an easy alternative for those to fit into their everyday lifestyle. She also puts an emphasis on how other cultures are consuming insects when it comes to educating the consumer. Finally, she pushes for sustainability for any consumer that looks for that in their products.
In conclusion, we decide in order to target health-conscious and athletic millennials, we need to maintain a high focus on protein. We want to do so by partnering with fitness apps, gyms, and smoothie distributors in order to build brand awareness and knowledge of the product. Thank you.
We might have actually had to. Vincent, are you there? Vincent? Or yeah, your microphone's off.
Or is that her microphone?
No, that's his.
Isn't that it? Oh, no, yeah,
That's-
that's okay, cool. Wow, that was scary for a second.
Okay, so Vincent might not be there, and there might be. Actually, I haven't checked my
It says
email
2
because I'm not a millennial, or text message. I know that they they're having a news crew, a film crew come in from a news station or a channel over from France in today at their facility. So they're going back and forth and doing a number of interviews. So he might have stepped away from his desk, been called away. So that's common. But I'll step in with a few questions if you don't mind. And I'll step out here just so.
Do you want
You
to
can-
switch? Do you want
No, this
the
is
mic?
fine. This mic obviously works. So I wanted to ask you, let's go back quickly to, if you can pull up the PowerPoint quickly, just so your conclusion's fine. With this, the conclusion, you mentioned about these fitness apps. How would you partner with them? What do you mean by the partnership? What would that entail?
I guess just approach the apps or the creators of the apps, obviously whoever runs it. I know some of them provide statistics onto how some of the ingredients of some of the dishes and some recipes provide health benefits to them and how it works in conjunction with the diet that they're trying to follow.
So are you looking to partner to get analytics or
To partner with,
market?
to push Akeda products into some of the recipes that they're providing their users.
Okay, so to feature
Almost
Akeda.
in the form of advertising to get the name out and to spread awareness.
Do you mind using the microphone? I don't know if that picks up.
We're almost using it as a way to advertise and spread awareness of the product and its health benefits.
Okay, so the partnership would be on the advertising, having Akeda just featured in certain recipes, or is there?
Yeah, depending on the app. So some of the apps are food apps, where we could have Aketa incorporated into the recipes, whereas others are fitness apps, which tell you which foods have higher protein, have lower protein, have more carbs, less carbs, etc.
Okay, so are there particular apps that you would recommend?
MyFitnessPal, and I think it's called WellCoin.
Okay, and did you do any investigation on the partnerships?
We did not, but we know that they do partnerships with other brands.
Okay, and then with the gyms, how are you looking to promote this the protein powder in there? Is it an add-on or is this featured?
Add-ons like you can add shots of whey protein or soy protein, so just add it as another alternative for consumers to sample.
Courtney, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, basically sampling in the gyms. I know in my gym there's always samples of smoothies because they want to incorporate the smoothies and build on that. So I feel like incorporating the protein into the smoothies and telling people about them and having a representative from Aketa there would be really helpful.
Okay, the representative of Aketa,
Just to promote the protein and talk about a little more the health benefits so people are made more aware about it.
So how do you feel Aketa can differentiate themselves in the gym from other proteins? What would resonate with that audience?
Their powder is also often referred to as protein powder. So advertising it differently to different segments. So if they took their powder and really pushed that it was a protein powder, then the athletic millennial would be more inclined to try it.
Versus other powders? Just is there, did you feel like there was a message that resonated more?
I just feel that like a lot of protein powder is a big thing, especially for active millennials, and people aren't really educated on like cricket powder. So I feel like they would be more willing to try the cricket powder because if they're so used to using their regular powder, they might be willing to try it if there was sampling.
So it's a general awareness.
Right.
It's not necessarily.
Whey is also comes from animals, which aren't often sustainably sourced, whereas cricket powder has that sustainability factor. So for those who are trying to shy away from meat or from animal products, they might consider Aketa just because it's more sustainable than whey is.
Okay, so you found that message resonated with the target. Okay, great. Thank you guys so much for this presentation, and we'll move on to the next. Yeah, don't turn it off because I think it takes longer. Oh, the mic? Yeah, just turn it off. Just keep it down. Should be fine. Okay.
All right, hi everyone. I'm Lou Velati,
I'm Alexandra Marcantonio.
And I'm Jenna Ansel.
and this is our marketing campaign and strategy for Aketa and Aspire Food Group. So at the beginning, just to give a little background to show where we were when we first started this project and to where we are now. So basically when we first started, we were looking at the product benefits of Aketa and just to see what we could really market to really reach the consumer. And we looked at the product benefits and the high protein content in Aketa products and the nutritional value that you get. And that led us to the athlete and the high endurance athlete market. And what we found was that the products weren't really there yet, and they didn't really compete with that type of market. So that led us into a completely different market, and that one that we think is like the perfect market for Akeda, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
So this is a slide on the dilemma that will be facing the cricket market. First is the obvious ick factor of consuming insects. We don't really need to harp on it. It's pretty obvious. Second is educating the public about the benefits and really what goes into Akeda products and why it's so important, why it's so beneficial. Third is repeat purchasing. It's pretty easy to get people to purchase crickets in the first place, kind of, because they're so interesting. Really a new up-and-coming idea, but it's kind of difficult to get them to purchase them again. And lastly, the integration into everyday life, just kind of showing consumers that you can really integrate this into any part of the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, dessert, really anything. We want to prove that to consumers that really there's so many different ideas that we can be taking advantage of. So opportunity and market, these three markets right here that we portray on the slide are three markets that we think that the Akeda products really fall into. First is the healthy snack market, which is currently a $26 billion market. Second is the protein powder market, which is currently $42 billion. And the edible insect market is projected to be $1.5 billion by 2020. Obviously, this market has tons of potential. So much money has gone into these markets. And there's a lot that we can do with it. Second is versatility. I kind of talked about this before, but just showing consumers that really you can do a lot with these Akeda products. They go into everyday life so easily. And third is this clean eating trend that's going on right now in the US and all over the world is really important and really kind of easy to match with Akeda. And it's kind of proving that Akeda protein does go into this clean eating trend.
So for our target market, and the target market that we thought is perfect with Akeda would be that health-conscious, adventurous type of market. So male and female millennials, we've already highlighted that millennials are the most likely target to really try these products and to really be open to trying crickets and edible insects. So a high disposable income, we really value and think that Akeda is like a premium type product, and millennials are like proven to really be willing to spend extra for a product that they deem is good for them and good for the environment. A healthy lifestyle, we really want to target that healthy lifestyle, whether it be hiking or exercising, doing adventurous things, and we think that like the high nutritional value of Akeda and the protein content will really resonate with them in that regard. Adventurous and enjoying the outdoors, like I said, hiking and doing adventurous activities outdoors all the time. So we think that, like, you know, when someone's grabbing into their hiking bag when they're on the trail and like needing that something to keep them going during the day, we think that should be Akeda, whether it's a bag of crickets or something that's baked with the Akeda protein or something like that. So valuing quality products, like we said, we really think that these are quality, high premium products. And then vested interest in sustainability. That's like the biggest thing with Akeda, and I think the biggest thing that'll really resonate with this market is the sustainability and, you know, the clean production methods and things that Akeda uses that really sets them apart. So this is Sean Birch, who's an American adventure athlete and motivational speaker, and he's someone that we think epitomizes our target market. And he had this to say about Akeda: "I'm excited about what Aspire is doing, which hits directly in line with my ethos on sustainable nutrition, farming, and insects being the future for a main protein nutrition source." So this was important to us because it really like vindicates us at least, and like shows that someone that we think epitomizes our target market really believes in these products and really feels as strongly as we do about the potential of this market.
This is a little bit about the competitive landscape and what Akeda is kind of entering. Chirps and Tomo Farms, Chapul and Exo are four main players in the edible insect and cricket protein market currently. Jack Links, Crave, and Planters are three protein snacks that a lot of our target market enjoys while they're hiking or biking or swimming or going outside. And also Cliff and Kind Bar are two bars.
they have protein in them and they're a snack bar and they kind of fit into that healthy kind of lifestyle. And all of these are products that our target market we think would enjoy. As far as barriers to entry in the market, there's definitely a small budget, which is going to hinder Akeda a little bit. And also, we're not able to really enter that high-intensity athlete kind of protein powder market yet that EXO is in because we have not developed the isolate protein yet. Also, Jack Link's, Crave, Planters, Kind, and Cliff, those are big names. A lot of people recognize their logos. So there already are a lot of main players in this industry, but we feel as if Akeda has a great value proposition and enough to set us apart from our competitors. So about the value proposition, sustainability and eco-friendly production is the main thing that our team felt as if was the most important thing about Akeda. It's extremely sustainable, which can't be said about other forms of protein, and also the eco-friendly production is one of a kind. And we feel as if those are two very important things to our target market, especially those who are into the clean eating trend, the sustainability, really caring about the environment and the outdoors. Also, it is a cleaner source of protein. It's better than whey, and it gives you more protein than meat. And also, the protein count in our products outshines that of our competitors. Cliff, Kind Bar, even Jack Link's jerky, their protein counts cannot add up and cannot stand up to what Akeda has. Also, in one serving, you have 9 amino acids, 12% of your daily fiber, 40% of your daily protein, and also the products are non-GMO and gluten-free. So how are we going to communicate all of these amazing benefits to our target market? Pack your bags, we're going on a trip.
So Adventure with Akeda, this idea of a van road trip that we would take with Akeda is basically our marketing campaign, and it's coupled with a social media campaign that we'll get into in a little bit. So we think this idea is really creative, really fun, and something that we think that we can have a lot of good publicity and a lot of people talking about Akeda and our products. So this sort of trip would be us going out to different venues like festivals, concerts, runs, and everything like that we think that our target market will be present at. And we'll be giving out samples and product and offering our consumers to go online and just educating them about our products, sending them to our website so they can look and research our products for themselves, and really just get our brand out there, educate people on what we do and what the benefits of our products. And we'll be handing out other things like we think wristbands, T-shirts, buttons and things made out of recyclable materials and things, just to really drive home that sustainable idea and message. And we think that'll be really good for the brand, and we think it would be good for the market as a whole. So this is just a rough rough map, I guess you could say, about what we think our map would look like in this whole campaign. So starting on Earth Day, we think that we identified Earth Day as being the perfect time to start this campaign. After researching Earth Day and the activities they do on Earth Day, there's a huge rally in Washington, D.C. The past couple years, I know that it's been huge, and just researching what Earth Day stands for is basically falls hand in hand with what our target market is and what our brand idea and concept is. So then just going to other places like the Boston University Sustainability Festival, Travel and Adventure Show, the Adventure Run World Series, and Adventure Hunt, which is a hiking type of contest, which is really adventurous and engaging, what we think our target market would be a part of, and the Firefly Music Festival. So all these places are places that we've identified as where our target market's going to be. And if our target market's there, we think that we should be there educating them about our products and our brand, and we think that'll be really good for us.
So along with our van trip, we decided to come up with a social media campaign. This is called #HowIAkeda. Basically, at these events that we'll be going to, our target market will consume or receive a sample, which will have the directions on how to really do this better. But the main idea is for the target market to come up with recipes or videos or just pictures of them implementing the Akeda products into their everyday lives, post them with the #HowIAkeda and tag at Akeda Crickets, and this puts them in the running for Aketa to select 3 lucky winners to receive free products at the end of the tour. They're able to participate as many times as the target market wants, and we think this will really get their name out there, give some ideas on how to implement the different products into their everyday lives, give new recipes, just stuff like that, make their brand more well-known.
And to jump in there, we think that having that consumer-generated content is really important for the brand and just for the market as a whole, because we think that when you see different videos and pictures of people implementing Aketa into their lifestyle and their diet and things like that, it really just like opens the consumer's eyes to all the different ways that you can implement this product into your lifestyle. I think we touched on earlier, it's a really versatile product and it can be used in many ways. And we think if people see those videos and pictures of using these products and implementing them into their lifestyle, it'll really just create more of a need for these products, which will really just help the market and help Aketa, obviously.
So for those in our target market that we're not going to be able to reach at the tour, because obviously all of our target market is not going to be at the events that we're going to select, we plan to do our own social media campaign. So the first thing is something that's really, really popular right now are Tasty videos. We're not proposing a partnership with Tasty, but we think that Aketa should make their own style Tasty videos and post them on their social media. Maybe do a new recipe a week or the recipe of the month featuring a new flavor, a new product, and how to integrate Aketa into your everyday life. We also want to update all of their social media accounts, get them all verified, and make sure that consumers know that this is a real brand, it's a reliable source, because verification plays a huge role when you're trusting information on the internet. And just kind of keep them up to date, posting stories, flavors of the month, different things like that, just to really engage with the consumer. And also we want to post pictures of our target market enjoying Aketa, because if you see somebody that you identify with, you see your friend, your colleague, a celebrity, an adventure athlete that you look up to, you're more likely to try the product, because you want to kind of fit in and you want to be able to experience the things that your peers are experiencing. Just to wrap everything up, excuse me, we believe that Aketa is a really, really strong brand that will be able to do very well in this market, and we're just one really good marketing strategy away from doing that. Since Aketa is such a unique brand, we think that it needs a unique marketing campaign to do so, and we definitely need to get the word out, educate our target market about the versatility of Aketa and how this is something that you can incorporate into breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack, a dessert, anything that you would really like. And also we really want to stress the sustainability and the importance of that. Thank you guys very much. Are there any questions?
Okay, thanks guys. Let's double check to see. Doesn't it, Vincent, if you're there, or anyone? Okay, well, he and everyone there will have a chance to view this when with the videos, and I do have the links to the videos, and I will hand them out per group so that you all have. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that. There's one more group going. It's okay. Not gonna change. Nothing's gonna change now. You be you. All right, just a few questions quickly for this group, and I'm running around here off video, so I apologize for all this. But question, I'll keep these relatively short, but especially the target market, some of those aspects that you mentioned, like wanting to be sustainable, all that. Do you have research sources? I'm sure Vincent would like those, so you have those provided. Okay, great. And in terms of a few, just quickly, why a VW bus?
I think we just really associated that with like a really kind of like what our target market really would like associate with and think was like a cool, neat thing, and like it's different. It'll grab people's attention, and we really think that just like kind of like associates with our target market, and I think that it would really be creative and a fun idea.
Just to add on to that, Aketa is kind of like a quirky company, and we feel like as if the Volkswagen bus is like a little bit of a quirky van. It's a little bit vintage. It grabs your attention. If you see that kind of parked somewhere, you're going to look at it, you're going to read it, you're going to kind of see what it's all about, because that's not something that you see on the road every day. It's not like a truck or another kind of van. So we felt as if that kind of grabs your attention.
Okay, it's hippie, right? It's very hippie. I mean, that's what we associate it with. And honestly, there is a lot of these vans at festivals, some of these things that you're hitting on. So yeah, but with that too, you mentioned with your hashtag, with that you're giving away it's free product at the end.
Yeah, so we wanted people to actually get a chance to try the product, because I mean, I can speak for I think all three of us when we say we were kind of scared to try it at first, but when we did, it was a lot less scary than we thought. So we thought giving free product would be kind of an easy way to get people talking and more used to it. Also, we kind of planned our budget, and we don't really have anything that's really, really expensive besides the van itself. So we thought that giving free product would kind of be okay to do, not tons and tons of it, but like it's really one of the main things, the only things that is costing really any money at all with our strategy and marketing campaigns. So we thought that it would be kind of fitting into our budget.
Just to touch on that, just to incentivize the consumer to go on the website and engage into a contest, we feel like offer incentivizing them to, with free product, that they would be more inclined to actually participate in the whole campaign. And we think that that free product will look like nothing compared to the amount of exposure that we could get by them posting videos and things like that. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that it'll be interesting to see what Aketa says about that. Especially, I do wonder if need to up the ante a little bit, or depending on how much free product that you're giving
a
out.
basket, or not a year supply of crickets.
I do appreciate your budget sensitivity.
Yeah.
So okay, great guys. Thank you so much, and we'll have
Thank
the
you,
next
guys.
group come up.
Yeah, that would help. Possibly.
A little bit.
Okay, hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Vince, if you're listening right now or later in the recording, we'd like to thank you and the Aspire Food Group for giving us this wonderful opportunity to work with Aketa. And my name is Alina.
I'm Megan Flood.
I'm Erin Coleman.
William McCarn.
And I'm Vince.
And the first thing that we want to identify is the problem. The problem is, why don't American consumers want to consume crickets? Why are they very hesitant to eat crickets or insects in general? Well, the main factor would be the ick factor, as we all know. And food is a symbol to us. We are conditioned to see it as a symbol. For example, oysters are conditioned to be associated with wealth. Hot dogs and hamburgers are associated with sports. Well, crickets would be another story. It's considered to be having this ick factor, to be dirty, sold on the streets. And in Dr. Moscato's classes alone, there are only at 12% who have tried insects in general. And here we have different examples of why people would not eat it. And one is that I would have any concerns of eating this product. I would
they're concerned about FDA approvals. But other than that, we'd like to point out that the lobsters as well used to have this type of story. It used to be dirty, it used to be sold in the streets, it used to be cheap. However, today it's associated with prestige, and it's so hard to get nowadays. And here we'd like to point out that Akeda or crickets have a great opportunity to grow just like lobsters used to. And now I'm going to hand it over to Erin, who will talk about segmentation.
We first looked into these segments to see where Akeda could be most successful. Foodies are always looking for new products, and paleo dieters are looking for simple things to incorporate in their diet. Ethical consumers are avoiding meat because of its impact on the planet. Health and fitness-oriented consumers are looking for a product to nourish their body, and the restaurant industry is looking for something appealing to get you in the door. As you know, these overlap in some areas, so we determined that the health enthusiast would be our most viable target market. They are the most likely to overlook the ick factor and be open-minded to the diverse health benefits. Because of being GMO-free, additive-free, high in protein, it falls under this clean eating trend. This is a really influential market, and they incorporate what the everyday consumer would eat in their daily life. And to get a better understanding of this consumer, we made the ideal customer. His name is Nate. Knowing from Intel that the most likely person to purchase crickets is someone from 18 to 25. So he's 24, he's graduated from college, he's educated, he knows that he wants to take care of the planet and his body. He does yoga and he runs marathons. Because he lives this active lifestyle, he doesn't like to cook and he eats on the go. And now we'll go into how we'll reach this target market.
So our 3 marketing objectives it's been something that every group has touched on, and it kind of states the obvious. It's removing the negative stigma from eating these crickets by emphasizing all the benefits that there are. So by highlighting the B12 and the great amount of protein and the sustainability and how it's really fits in with the clean eating profile, we can implement a strategy that fits that by substituting, by implementing this in the form of powder, which we think would be the best option, because instead of seeing the cricket and eating it as a whole, you're not seeing the cricket and it's in the powder and it's just concentrated protein. This video I've seen on Facebook twice. It's came up. It's a Finnish bakery that uses this powder in their bread. And it'd be ideal if there was sound, but so it basically couldn't keep up with the demand of their cricket bread because it was something new and consumers wanted to try it. So we believe that if bakeries were to do the similar things with this, that it would have a similar effect because all the perceived benefits from this. So. And then Will is going to talk about how exactly we're going to do this.
All right, so unfortunately the video obviously didn't have sound, but basically what happened was this small Finnish restaurant from Finland integrated this bread that contains crickets, and they were extremely successful with it to the point where they ran out of cricket supply. So we feel that if we work with Sweetgreen and have you know, when you go to Sweetgreen, I don't know if anyone's been there. The next slide, I'll describe thoroughly like what Sweetgreen is. So Sweetgreen is a restaurant that's like a quick serve, like trendy restaurant that really like works well with our demographic as far as like healthy consumers. And they give, as you can see, when you order a salad, they offer bread. So what we would do is right there, like we would put on the menu like a healthier option for bread, because everyone sees bread as like, oh, this is my cheat day, etc. Like I'm gonna order bread, but we're trying to get away from that stigma, and we're gonna try and say humanly raised Aketa bread, Aketa protein infused bread, so that they associate the bread with protein as well as Aketa, and get the name Aketa out there. So from there, as you can see, Sweetgreen made the top 10 list of new up-and-coming restaurants. Their growth was actually 58.5%, which is pretty impressive. And we felt that this was one of like the only companies or restaurants up there that works well with what Aketa sees their demographic of. So as well, once we get our product and brand name out there of Aketa, we'd like to incorporate them in companies like Dick's Sporting Goods, for example. As you can see, there aren't really like healthy options when you go out to the checkout line. So, and also we chose Dick's because honestly, they have so many different brands, so it kind of is it broadens the demographic that at one point in our marketing scheme was very narrow, but because so many different kinds of shoppers go there, it's just good to get the name brand out there. And then as opposed to this next company we're working with, as in Lululemon, this is more of a more affluent demographic that, considering Aketa is so like more expensive because they're what, $3 to $5. So you figure for such a small package, the demographic has to be more affluent, and they also are fitness enthusiasts in that there's next to the yoga mat, so that's where we would place them. And now I'm going to pass it off to Vince, who will thoroughly describe the market segmentation.
So why incorporate Aketa bread into Sweetgreen? Well, we've recognized that on a geographic, demographic, and psychographic basis, the market segment with Sweetgreen aligns with the consumer that's most likely to consume or be an early adopter to Crickets or Aketa product. As Aaron mentioned earlier, Nate, who's a young, educated, fit male, who's more well-off than most, he aligns with the typical Sweetgreen consumer. Basically, Sweetgreen fits this target for our consumer, and they mend well because most Sweetgreen locations are in highly populated cities, such as New York City, LA, Boston, and DC, which is where Sweetgreen started. They also show, there's also, 91% of the people that have visited Sweetgreen in the last 3 months are between the ages of 16 and 34, which also hits that millennial market and is young enough to give Crickets, and young enough and open-minded enough to give Crickets a shot. These people also tend to be, like, the people that engage well with salads and customization are also tend to be the more affluent crowd. This more affluent crowd has smartphones, technology, and is very socially engaged online. So this is a great opportunity for Aketa because Aketa and a lot of other Cricket companies, which I'll get into in a moment, are having this shining moment where people are realizing that the U.S. market could thrive with Crickets there because there's the sustainable aspects, but there's also the health aspects. And a lot of this is reaching sites like The Guardian or Newsweekly or Tastemade, which are websites that also align with this market segment. Now, since this target market segment, which aligns with one another, also happens to be very socially engaged, this is great for Aketa because these articles can then share, and from Sweetgreen, as Will mentioned, then we could potentially go into larger retailers like Dick's Sporting Goods or Lululemon's. So competitively speaking, Aketa has a lot of emerging Cricket companies that are in the U.S. market. EXO and Biddy being one, though they take a different approach. EXO takes an approach that focuses more on the protein bar side of crickets, whereas Chirps take on the snack industry and the chip industry. But if Aketa gets into the bread making industry and pairs with Sweetgreen, their newer prime competitors will be more likely to be Biddy and Entimo Farms. This is because they both have an offering of cricket-based flour, which, as we know, is very high in protein. Although Biddy and Entimo Farms both have cricket flour, they're not producing bread or partnered with any other fast casual restaurant. So this creates a fantastic opportunity for Aketa to be different, to strive to reach places that these other emerging cricket companies have yet to do. This also creates a barrier for them, Entimo Farms and Biddy, to even get into this area because Sweetgreen happens to have some of the most loyal customers. So once the brand recognition of a consumer that goes to Sweetgreen and gets that Aketa protein-enriched, nutrient-dense bread, they're going to know it as Aketa bread. Entimo Farms and Biddy are going to have to go through that brand recognition that Aketa will get. So in other words, the first to market is probably going to be the first to succeed. And now Elena will go into our inside sources.
I was talking to a friend of mine who happened to be a fitness trainer at LA Fitness. And when we were talking about this subject, he mentioned to me that a lot of his clients are looking for substitutes for protein. Because a lot of them would rather take supplements, but instead they want something that would make them full, and they're always looking for different opportunities to enhance on that. And I mentioned about the roasted crickets and also the cricket powder and such. And he said that this would be a great opportunity to go to these clients or go to millennials, especially that he's also a millennial. He said that they'd be open to this kind of thing. However, without mentioning our idea, he did say that it would be great if you substitute this into something that we eat every day. And one would be bread or pasta. And he's just afraid that seeing the crickets would make them very hesitant to take this. And so having this substitute will be amazing. And so now I'm heading it over to Megan.
With that being said about why bread is the way to go for this, we wanted to draw a parallel between that and the gluten-free industry and how that has just skyrocketed. So some people perceive bread to not be the best for your health, and that's why the gluten-free industry has doubled in conventional stores, and then it's predicted to grow to about $8 million in revenue. Market size worldwide by 2020. And what's really interesting is that only 9% of people that consume gluten-free products have celiac disease, whereas other people that pursue gluten-free diets are not gluten-free at all. Like, they just perceive that it's better for you. So that's why they will eat gluten-free products. And so by not having gluten, that's perceived as a benefit. So to add protein to the bread, that would be also a benefit for consumers. They would be more interested in eating bread. And then I know from being in Sweetgreen, some people will be like, oh, am I going to cheat today by having bread? Because they ask you right at the checkout. So I feel like people won't feel like they're guilting into eating the bread if there are more benefits to the bread.
So to sum this all up, we believe that if Aketa can harness the power that their cricket flour product, which already exists, has, and put that into an untapped market where they create the bread and supply a company like Sweetgreen with it, they will achieve great success. We also think that as Sweetgreen thrives and emerges as an extremely popular and ever-growing fast casual restaurant, that this will allow Aketa and their other product lines of crickets to become normalized in a market that initially conceived these products as unappetizing. and this could open the market for crickets in America. So, Aketa, the future is chirping your name. It's time for you to answer.
On the line. Okay. No. Okay. So he's not. I will have a few questions. First of all, I want to apologize about the taping message or the video message. I feel that might have made you guys a little bit more nervous than the other groups, and that's my bad, and I apologize for that. And good recovery from the video. So I'm going into my let's make this a teaching moment questions here, or comments. I'll try to stick with questions. Now, I found it really interesting that you picked sweet greens. If you actually want to go back to that growth chart of the top 10, right? So I'm seeing, what is that, 4 pizza places above sweet greens. Tell me why you chose sweet greens and not pizza.
I mean, like, pizza's not really, like, isn't perceived as healthy by any means. So, like, and also, how would you integrate, like, crickets, onto pizza? I personally wouldn't like it as a topping. I don't know about you, but
What is
I just
pizza made out of?
Huh? Oh, you're saying, well, yeah.
Well, additionally, when we searched up the target markets for Aketa and our target market, it mostly aligned with Sweetgreen compared to the other stores that we saw. And also, it tags into their beliefs and their lifestyle. And so we felt that Sweetgreen would be the perfect fit for that.
Would you have any comments about the pizza? Do you think that does fall in line with some of the targets? Would that be a possible opportunity? Are you all familiar with any of these pizza restaurants?
I think with Sweetgreen, we're just adding 1 slice of bread, and it's using minimal flour, so it wouldn't be adding $5 onto your salad, whereas where your pizza is made with cricket flour, the price of the actual pizza would go up.
And I feel like it's almost contradictory to have crickets in pizza, because pizza is just not perceived to be healthy at all. People usually would have it on a Friday to like come home after work because it's quick and easy. But at the same time, Sweetgreen, most consumers that go there are people that are just running from their work shift, like for a lunch break. And when they're in there, they can see like where the ingredients are coming from, and it's just a quick grab and go kind of food. Sweetgreen also said that their market, the people that like consume Sweetgreen the most often, will have salad at least once a day. So we figured that would be better.
Okay. How are you branding Aketa? This is a flour that's inside of bread that's inside a restaurant.
Well, like I said, when you walk into Sweetgreen, every Sweetgreen I've been into has had a huge board of like Miscloon coming from, or tomatoes from here, and then they give you like the origin. So it'll show right up there, like with the bread, because they show the bakery where they pull the bread from. So there'll be like bread from this bakery used with Aketa from Houston. So.
Okay. Okay.
No, what were you saying?
How you're branding the Aketa in the Sweetgreens bread. So the piece 2 is we're talking about resale. How are you promoting Aketa?
Well, the first step that we wanted to do is they're the middlemen for now, and they're going to be named the bread that Sweetgreen will have. They're going to be named the Akeda bread. And being that brand, they will have more brand awareness through Sweetgreen. And after that step, we wanted to add it at Dick's Sporting Goods and Lululemon. So for us, that was like the second step for them to gain more recognition.
Okay, so there is research on the crossover between those markets. Okay. All right, great. And I think this is this interesting area of going after food service. It is difficult for the branding and understand the repurchasing. So having the prepackaged product there on sale or other ways of branding can be very helpful, but some interesting angles. So thank you so much, team. All right, guys. We're done with our presentations. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, give yourself a round of applause. Okay, so we have 15 minutes of class left, and there's two major things that I would like you all to do. Number one is that there's class evaluations. Okay, these are really important to us as professors. This class is always a work in progress too, and an experiment in a lot of ways, as that it has a basis of consumer behavior, yet needs to be specifically for you all, for you as food majors, food marketing majors, obviously. And this is a little bit of a balance, since there's really no food consumer behavior textbook out there. And I'm trying to improve. So I would love to have your feedback. With that also is that we don't get this feedback until late in January. And I have just a pretty simple survey on Qualtrics that if you have any recommendations of what you liked in the class, what would be an approval for, would improve the class, then would like that feedback. I would get that instantly. And no, it's not asking you for your names or anything. Both are confidential. So I would appreciate you all taking some time to do the class evaluations, the official SJU evaluations. You probably know what it's like. It's a little bit longer. And just when you're filling it out, keep in mind what we have done this semester, what you all guys have accomplished. And it's pretty remarkable, the amount of material that we covered, the amount of work that you have done, and I do think that you all should be very proud of the accomplishments, and we have definitely hit all the class objectives as well. So I'll give you some time to do that, and I also, to celebrate this end of this term, have some treats for you all. Some of them have cricket powder in it, some of them don't. And I'll have those up front for you for when you finish. I will tell you which ones has it. Is there any questions? Do you all know how to get onto the survey, the official SJU survey? Okay, I think that you got a reminder even this morning. All right, great. So I'll give you guys some time to do that, and I'll be quiet now. Do you guys have do you have questions about the where to find the survey, or everyone's good? Okay, just want to make sure.